Love. What is love? Is love an obligation or an idea? Is it that feeling you get when you're laying on the couch with someone? Is it that feeling, or is it something more? Love.
What? What the? heck? Oh.
For starters, we open with this 3-panel showing off this subject heading out of his room. Sort of like a 3, 2, 1 countdown before the race begins, but this way we can know without a doubt who our main character of the show is going to be. It shows its hand by involving the main influence on its style right out of the gate, hence the 3-panel comic format, but more on that later. Now that we've entered the fray, thanks to the lyrics, we know the destination of our hero is the bathroom, something that most folks take for granted. Now we get to see him run through this Olympic gauntlet just to take care of a simple day-to-day action. It's not only that he's running through his household war zone just to use the bathroom, it's the way in which he's moving in and out of all these different thresholds. He embraces and participates. He isn't all, man, I can't believe how annoying everyone is. He simply accepts the situation that's been handed to him and enjoys the time that he has with his sisters. Not only is this, a large amount of maturity for someone Lincoln's age, but moreover, it's a huge bit of character that we get in such a small window of time. And as we continue to follow our young Odysseus, he has finally made it to his linoleum Ithaca. His celebration is short-lived though. Even there, his sisters get to him and throw him back into the fray, really cementing the core theme of the show, being that you can't really escape your family. Paraphrased, of course, but nonetheless. As we see the rest of the shots, we're treated to the age and the order of the sisters by way of the paintings and how they're lined up, as well as some animated fanfare, while the song moves with perfect syncopation with the actions on screen. All the while, the shots have gone full comic panel now, keeping and cementing that core theme we talked about earlier. And we wrap the whole thing up with the quintessential, if maybe a bit dated, trope of gathering in the living room to watch some TV. The Loud House takes the whole Angelo Rules approach to things with its setup for the episode. Well, wait, let's go with like Clarissa Explains It All, or maybe Saved by the Bell, or Ned's to Classified School Survival Guide. I don't fucking know what my audience watches. The basic idea being that they talk to the audience about how things work, sort of like a Greek play aside. It's something you tend to see done in comics a lot as well. It's a good way to convey a lot of information without too much time. In a 4-panel comic, you really do need to pack as much information as you can into a single frame. I bring this up because, well, it's no secret the Loud House takes influence from Sunday 4-panel newspaper comics a la Garfield, Peanuts, I don't know, Baby Blues. I guess it takes it one step further with its detail to really give you the full experience. Like, for example, the whole show, save the characters, actually has a light and subtle filter on top of everything to make it look like it's sitting top of newspaper print. Another interesting detail is its shot composition, focusing on flat group shots or single subject reactionary shots that fill up the frame over traditional camera techniques. Plus, all the backgrounds focus on very strong line and square shape design to keep with the strong panel framing in the back of your mind. The antithesis of this would be the Boondocks, which was a comic strip that got adapted into an animation. And they did everything they could to show off the fluidity of motion, strong cinematic shots, or crazy over-the-top anime-style bullshit. The Loud House favors strong still frames, which is something that it really revels in.
Take the Sunday papers and draw all of the eyes from every single strip onto a piece of paper, and then all of the noses, and then all the mouths, and then I would mix and match and draw my own characters. So in the Loud House, you could see it's kind of got a Sunday Funnies kind of feel to it, and that was certainly some way of me paying homage to that early desire in my life to do a comic strip.
Speaking about the Boondocks, let's talk about the sound design. Well, not only does the Loud House have an amazing opening song that just gets you pumped to watch the show, and you just want to listen to it over and over again because it's so addicting.
10 girls wouldn't trade it for the world.
Oh yeah, the Boondocks. So you know how in every episode of the Boondocks, sorry, I just assume you've watched the Boondocks. If you haven't, I mean, you're like a bad person. You need to go watch the first 3 seasons of the Boondocks, like, right now. Oh, and then, like, just Breaking Granddad from season 4. It's the only one. I'll wait, don't worry. Okay, we good? Wasn't it good, right? It's fucking good. Anyways, so in the Boondocks, they do this thing where they use a light melodic reflective piano at the beginning of every episode to showcase the status quo, or when Huey's being all deep and shit.
Huey, say something deep. Huh? Ain't got all day, boy. Be deep.
Your pain is the breaking of the shell that encloses your understanding. It is the bitter potion by which the physician within you heals your sick self. Therefore, trust the physician and drink his remedy in silence and tranquility. Khalil Gibran.
And let's be honest, the Boondocks didn't start that either. Charles Schultz did that a lot with the Peanuts animations as well. It was a very specific way to convey the MC's reflective moments. The Loud House does it too, and I find it really cool that there's kind of this reoccurring stylistic choice for something as specific as comic-influenced animation. I'm gonna call it the 4-panel 4 chords. I don't know about you, but I like that name. When it comes to the sound design, you can really see the influence of the creator. First things first, this guy that made the show, he has been working in the industry since he was 19, but more on that in a bit. His first show was Ren and Stimpy, a show that prided itself in making sure that everything, fucking everything, made a noise. It helped the expressions, and it helped the gross out humor. It helped just improve the overall tone of the show. The Loud House does the same thing. While not to the same extreme, it does a great job using the idea. It also knows when not to use sound effects in music. Take this scene right here. A lesser cartoon or even TV show would still have used not Mission Impossible score, or just like that step sound effect thing where they use the scales on a violin, but they didn't. They make all the sound go away and use the lack of noise to accentuate the seriousness of the situation. Television, movies, video games tend to rely on sound to lead their audience. And not to, derail from my point, because this is like its own video in and of itself, the Loud House knows when to make sound work for it, not lean on it as a crutch to force a specific tone or idea, but use it as a tool to create that tone or idea, but never really draw attention to except for that opening. So good. Just everything about that opening is like my jam. Chris Savino. Did I say that right? Whatever, I'm getting paid regardless. Born October 12th, 1971 in Royal Oaks, Michigan. He enjoys long walks on the beach and spending time with his happily married wife. So, ladies and gentlemen, do not try and hit him up for, soliciting things out of him. He is probably very happy with his situation, and I don't want to be the one to get him in trouble for the... He's been working on cartoons since he was 19, and he's been all over the place, from Ren and Stimpy to Dexter's Lab. Heck, this guy's already had one successful running television show. We are dealing with a man who has an extensive pedigree, and it really does show. The humor is like too spot on, whether it's slapstick or a running gag.
It was you!
Lincoln, stop kicking down the doors!
Or dialogue.
It was you!
Lincoln, stop kicking down the doors!
See what I did there? Because they're all the same thing. Because he managed to kind of like slam all those things together and really just own a joke. Very little dialogue is wasted, and it makes snappy conversations that keep the energy going for like a strong, quick 11-minute block. Plus, nice little things like Luna's dialogue just being song lyrics every now and then. Oh, and for some reason her outfit is just straight wacky races. I mean, he worked at Hanna-Barbera, so I guess, but I mean, I'm down for some classy reference. It makes me feel good. It should make you feel good. It just makes everybody feel good, let's be honest. The elephant in the room would be that most of this relatively, no pun intended, but I wish it were, that's a good joke, small cast could easily be broken down into a line or two. You got punk rock chick, mean older sister, mall goth, girl Dexter, Kick's little sister, the best one. Ultimately, that's pretty much okay, because when it's all said and done, the show isn't about them. It's about Lincoln. That being said, The Loud House is one of the most progressive shows out there right now. And no, it's not just because of Clyde's two dads. I mean, that's cool, I guess, but like, Jeff has two moms, so whatever. Clarence did it first. Y'all ain't even slick. The real thing that makes you guys progressive, though, is because girl poops. Our 10 leading ladies all use the bathroom, and they don't shy away from that. Hell, some even obsess over it. In media, even now, it is not all that common that girls get to be gross. Some more adult shows get away with it, but definitely not kids shows. Sadly, it's rare that girl characters get to fart, or pee, or poop, or do anything that would, as society, be deemed gross because we hide it behind a closed door. The Loud House welcomes the idea. Girls can be gross. It shows that any girl of any age, of any kind, prim, princess, or tomboy, poops. I know that sounds minor, but like, there's an honest to God disparity. It is just another way for children to systematically be trained to think that girls, or being a girl, somehow means that you aren't allowed to enjoy or joke about that kind of thing. You know, the thing that literally everybody does, because, you know, it's a thing that all human beings just expel because it is a building block and a stepping stone for every human being to experiment with the concept of a fart joke, or a poop joke, or a pee joke, and you can't stifle that, and if you do, it intrinsically makes people feel like they shouldn't experiment with the concept of humor. It is like the core element and leads to so many more issues, and having like a bad sense of humor or an immature sense of humor. It's a really important thing that now that I'm off my soapbox, it's cool that the show has a whole episode dealing with who clogged the toilet, and it doesn't shy away from talking about how every single one of the characters could have done it. Really, the only issue I have with the Loud House, and it's not so much an issue as much as a kind of personal choice that could probably get under some folks' skin. The formula they follow is very laid out for everyone to see, and that's not a bad thing, but it does make for some major, okay, I get it, siblings suck and rock all at the same time problems if you're going to be binge watching episode after episode. But still not really a problem if you understand that going in, or you're just watching, you know, an episode or two at a time. The show also doesn't really care about continuity or what's going on. There's no real progressive narrative, and honestly I find it kind of refreshing. We have plenty of shows out there right now that are doing the whole mythic arc thing. It's really good to have something that's smart, funny, and, you know, something you just pick up and watch in any order and not worry about the overall progressive narrative. So go watch it right now. Even if you don't care about anything I just told you, I can guarantee you that you will find at least one Loud sister to pine and obsess over.
Lana. 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 Lana.
What? You get it? Thanks for watching, everybody. As always, you can comment down below letting me know what you thought of the video or what you think of the Loud House. I'd love to hear it. Not to mention, you can follow me on Twitter for updates and things like that, as well as, if you really love me, you can support me on Patreon for future works. Remember, don't be a dick, follow your bliss, and I'll see you later, guys. Kisses! That was dumb.